Democrats nominating Joe Biden in 2024 will surprisingly cost them the election. He is unfit for president. There are a ton of reasons for that. And one prime example is what happened in Hawaii. And you can take a look at Joe Biden's response to that. When there is a state that is burning to the ground, in this case, in particular, Hawaii, when a state is burning to the ground, Joe Biden, his response is ultimately no comment. Are you kidding? Take a look for yourself. When a state is burning to the ground, Joe Biden will tell you, I have no comment. And that's just one reason of all reasons that he's unfit for president. And Democrats should have this as a wake-up call that they should nominate someone else than Biden. Maybe a Pete Buttigieg. He did good in the 2020 Democratic primaries. If it's not Pete Buttigieg, then try to take a look at some other people. Maybe Gavin Newsom. He is an uprising star in the Democratic Party, so they should probably take a look at some other Democratic potential, candidates, and they should really move on from Biden, because the Democrats are running on a notion of, because Biden won in 2020, he's probably going to win in 2024. That's what the Democrats are basically saying with nominating Biden for 2024. Is because the Democrats' plan is basically they're running Biden on a notion of, because Biden won in the 2020 election, means he's probably going to win the 2024 election. That's the Democrats' mindset. And that's ultimately not true. Because Biden won in 2020 does not necessarily mean he's going to win again in 2024. That's just not, it's just not true. And you take a look at his approval rating, and you can argue that approval ratings for Democrats don't mean as much as they do for Republicans. Yes, I actually do agree with that. That's partially true. Even though Biden's approval rating is low, it ultimately doesn't mean much because he is a Democrat, and approval rating actually hurts Republicans more than it does to Democrats. So you can take his approval rating out for consideration. But other than his approval rating, you take a look at anything else in his administration, it's just an utter disaster. Oh, and don't forget, no one's going to forget this. What happened with the 13 U.S. service members killed in Afghanistan? Yeah. After that, I can guarantee you that no veteran will be voting for Biden in 2024. No veteran. I think veterans will not back Biden in 2024. And if they did in 2020, they're definitely not going to in 2024, because Joe Biden's foreign policy is a failure. And it's not even just foreign policy at this point. Come on. You take a look at the border crisis. In the year of 2020 alone, U.S. Customs and Border Protection experienced 1.7 million encounters with aliens at the southern border. The highest number ever recorded with illegals at the southern border happened to be with the Biden administration in a single year. That number does not include people who evaded border patrol officers. And from January through August of 2021, more than 273,000 migrants avoided apprehension and entered our country illegally. And these are new records. So, yeah, whether a variety of issues, guys. This is not just happening, and Biden's failures is not just happening in one issue. Biden's failures is actually, it's like a virus. It's just spreading through many issues. Biden's failures are in foreign policy. Biden's failures are in domestic politics. Biden's failures are even in the southern border. And Biden's failures also happen to carry on with the economy as well. So Biden's failures is just like a virus. It just spreads on and on and on. He just doesn't have failures with the southern border. That's not the only thing. His failures in foreign policy is not just one failure. That's one failure of many, actually. Joe Biden has failed in many, many issues regarding American politics, and he guarantee will not come down as one of the best presidents. In fact, he might come down as the worst presidents already. And Americans should come to realize that they cannot have another Biden in 2024, and that's what the Democratic Party needs to realize, is that if they nominate someone like Biden in 2024, it's going to surprisingly, which it might not be that surprisingly to some people, Republicans might not be that surprised that Biden will hurt the Democrats in 2024, but specifically the Democratic Party. It will surprisingly hurt them. It will ultimately cost them election in 2024 if they nominate someone like Biden, because they are, like I said, they are running on the notion of, because Biden won in 2020, he's probably going to win in 2024. And that is just not true, ladies and gentlemen. Yet again, that is ultimately not true. Because Biden won in 2020 does not mean he's going to run in 2024. And that's what the Democrats think. That's what they think when they nominate Biden again in 2024. So they need to turn to other people. The Democrats would be better off running someone like Gavin Newsom than Joe Biden. Even someone like Pete Buttigieg, believe it or not, they would be better running off with Pete Buttigieg or Gavin Newsom other than someone like Biden. Biden turns off voters. He turns off voters. Joe Biden did good with independence in 2020. Will that carry on in 2024? I just don't think so. Joe Biden doing good with independence in 2020, I doubt that will carry on with him in 2024, considering how terrible he is at foreign policy, considering how terrible he is at handling the issue at the border, considering how terrible he is with, our own issues in our own home country. Take a look at Maui, what happened with Maui. Joe Biden, quote unquote, said no comment. A reporter asked him, do you have anything to say about the fires in Maui? Joe Biden, quote unquote, said in response, no comment. Is this who you want as president? A president that if there is a fire that is just burning a state down, that the president is going to say no comment? Are you kidding me? Joe Biden spends more time on Ukraine than he does about the fires in Maui. And it's sad that most Hawaiians are still probably going to vote for Biden in 2024, even though he just doesn't care about you. If you are a Hawaiian native, guess what? Biden does not care for you at all. He basically told your state no comment. He told your state to burn to the ground because in response he said no comment. Saying no comment to the Maui fires is basically goodbye. Is basically a burn to the ground comment. So Joe Biden does not care about Hawaiians. He doesn't. He just doesn't. Like come on. Like, Hawaiians should also wake up to this. Hawaiian voters should wake up to this. Joe Biden basically, admitting that he does not care about your state by saying, quote unquote, no comment. That's basically admitting that he does not care for you if you are Hawaiian whatsoever. And it's just an utter, it's just a disgrace what's happening with the Biden administration. And this relates to the title of this video. Democrats need to move on from Biden because if they run him in 2024, he could ultimately cost the Democrats to lose the election. And many people don't see this, and they need to wake up to this, because this is ultimately, if Democrats really truly want to win in 2024, they need someone with more enthusiasm. Joe Biden has no enthusiasm whatsoever. He will not get the turnout that Democrats are hoping for. The turnout that Democrats got in 2020 will definitely not carry over in the 2024 election. 81 million votes that Joe Biden got in 2020, that is not going to be the same for him in 2024. I'm guessing, as my prediction, Biden probably gets around 60 to 70 million. He will not get 80 million. He got extremely lucky. He really did get lucky. Because, the country had to face COVID, and Trump got unlucky. Trump was really hit hard with COVID. So that's the main reason why Joe Biden got elected in the first place. If we don't have, and Joe Biden got really lucky with COVID because Americans wanted the country to go in a different direction. They didn't like how, obviously COVID, they didn't like how Trump was handling it, so obviously a lot of voters had to switch over to Biden that voted for Trump in 2016. But will that happen in 2024? I just don't think so. The same voters that voted for Biden in 2020 will probably not vote for him in 2024 because, 2020 was an unfavorable year for Trump. So, and, the last time we had a rematch in an election was back in like the 1900s, and the person who won the first time won the second time in the rematch. Will that carry over in the 2024 election? Will Joe Biden win, who won the first time, will he win his second rematch? That's probably not going to happen. So, typically in American politics, if you are in a rematch, whoever won the first time is probably going to win the second time. Well, that would be Biden, but I don't think Joe Biden will win this rematch this time because he's just so unfavorable, and he's losing independent support. Joe Biden is way more favorable amongst independents in 2020 than he is now, and that goes to show you that running someone like Biden in 2024, Democrats really need to wake up and to the fact that running someone like Biden will cost them the election. So that's basically the message I'm trying to put out in this video, to be honest, is Democrats should, focus on maybe a Gavin Newsom, maybe a Pete Buttigieg, someone with more enthusiasm with, younger people. I know there's a lot of people saying, oh, Joe Biden's doing good with Gen Z. Well, will that really carry on in 2024 is the question we have yet to see. So we will see. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on my, claim that Joe Biden needs to ultimately not run in 2024. So do you agree with my claim that Joe Biden should step down and Democrats are making, this huge costly mistake that will cost them the 2024 election if they run someone like Biden, which they are at this point? So let me know your thoughts and opinions on my claims in this video in the comment section down below, and don't forget to subscribe as we are approaching 500 subscribers.